Welcome to Beyond the Binary, the show, where we explore the complex and diverse experiences of individuals who are part or ally of the LGBTQ community. I'm Vee Bernier, and I'm thrilled to have Sam Gionet join us today for an enlightening conversation.
Hey, like Vee said, I am Sam Gionet. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm very excited to be here.
Now, without further delay, let's get on with today's discussion.
Absolutely. Ready when you are.
Well, very simple first question. If you don't mind sharing this, what school do you go to?
I go to Azure.
Wonderful school, if I do say so myself. What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Alright, so pretty fresh into high school, just beginning your journey of exploring young adulthood. Tell me about your interest. I hear you like horror.
I love horror. Anything, games, movies, shows, and whatever else is in that category. Just horror.
Yeah, I can't really relate on that one, but I can definitely understand the appeal. What was your childhood like before you started figuring out your sexuality?
My childhood was pretty chill. I was a weird child with a very, very active imagination, and I barely knew anything about the queer community.
You were a weird child? I think it's safe to say that some things never change, but I digress. It's unfortunate that you didn't know much about the community, but I'm sure you appreciated it much more once you did start learning about it. How'd you figure out that you liked girls? Did you have like a specific gay awakening, or did it just happen over time?
In seventh, I made friends with people, and I realized after a little that I had a crush on one of them. So it just like hit me in the face. I also did remember that I used to love Harley Quinn. Like she's the best. Like that's my opinion. Anyways, I still do. I love her, and that was before I always thought she was so hot, and I love her so much as a child, and now of course. But I never really knew what the LGBTQ plus was at the age, and so I didn't really think anything of it.
I can't necessarily speak on the front of Harley Quinn admirers. However, I think that many kind of indirectly realize slowly or even suddenly um, that they were, not straight after meeting someone. Um, on the Harley Quinn part, though, I can say that many people expected you to mention her, so that doesn't surprise me one bit. Everyone has different emotions when they come to the realization. What were yours?
I was like, okay, I guess I like girls. I was a little confused for a short period. Other than that, it wasn't that hard. It did take me a little bit, not too long though, to figure out that I don't like guys. I just accepted it. It's not like I could or would do anything about it, so I just accepted it.
That's valid. How did that interact with your understanding of your sexuality?
Well, I never really knew about the LGBTQ plus much when I was young, and I didn't get educated on it or learn anything, so I was just like, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, there should be an in between for students learning enough about it and overhearing about it. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. With having that said, when and how did you tell your friends? Was it gradual or sudden? How did they react?
I told my friends about it almost like right away because I didn't know what to do, and they reacted pretty good actually. One of my closest friends at the time then was a lesbian or bisexual. I don't really remember exactly, it's been a while. And she took it pretty well, and all my friends did. They accepted me for who I was and not my sexuality or gender. And they're all allies, counting this day too.
Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad you had a very accepting circle of friends. Now, how did you come out to your parents and what was their reaction on it?
I came out last year a little after my birthday. So how it worked, I told my parents I needed to tell them something and got them to wait outside of my room because I got the lesbian flag for my birthday from one of my old friends at the time. And so once I took it out, I got them to come in my room and I made them try to guess the flag. It was a lesbian flag, of course. After a little, they figured it out, and my father was like, okay, that's okay. He thought that I didn't like anyone, like in general, and whatever. Anyways, he told me he still loves me no matter what, and my mother, we talked about it, and she asked who I liked. I didn't tell her though. Anyways, she said that she accepts me and that she actually knew before I figured out my sexuality. She knew that I like girls, but she didn't know if I liked just girls or I liked boys and girls. So I was really happy that they were okay with it. And before I came out, I had maybe like 3 pride flags and they were visible. So my parents knew that I was really supportive, like really supportive, because I did try to bring it up really often too. Anyways, so and they didn't say anything. So I had a feeling that they were going to be okay with it. So now I have over 50 pride flags and over 20 pride accessories and whatever else there is.
That's actually so cool the way they reacted so nicely. I'm so jealous of your pride collection. Like, oh my goodness. What has your experience been like with your teachers at school?
My teachers are great about it. They don't do anything to shame me and they accept me. So that's great. Anyways, I do remember one day last year, it was during the week of the 17th May, where we have a week full of activities for the LGBTQ plus community and allies. And so one of my teachers asked me what the week meant and why we're doing this. And I told him. He probably asked me because I was dressed up. I had my pride flags, my face was painted, I was all ready. I was ready, so proud of myself that day. Anyways, and since I am in the committee at school that we have, so all the teachers are pretty nice and chill about it. So that's good.
I believe I mentioned this in the last episode with Mr. Sambador, actually, about how chill Odyssey is, about pride activities and general pridefulness, but I'm glad you've also had a good experience with the teachers there. What has your experience been like with your peers at school?
At school, I haven't had much bullying in that. I did get called the F slur for gays, and I didn't really do anything about it because I guess in their terms, it is true, and it didn't really bother me. I didn't say anything back to them. I just walked to where I was going because they just usually want a reaction out of you and whatever. I just laughed. Anyways, so another time this year, I had some ninth graders meow at me. Honestly, I laughed at that because I find it funny how I don't know them and they meowed at me. I don't know what's going on in their head, but whatever. I have had other experience, but it doesn't really bother me that people make fun of me and that for being part of the LGBTQ community. I do see a lot though that people bully people that are ally or part of the LGBTQ community, which I don't find that nice, and they should mind their own business. Everyone can have opinions, I do understand, but sometimes opinions are not necessary to say, and it can be hurtful, and that sometimes it's better to keep them to yourself. And how I see it is that people have their own vision on the community itself and that they don't actually know what it is. So, usually, most of the time, anyways, they always think of it of like, I don't want to, they think of it as like they're all bad people, and that doesn't help the way that they think about it because usually it'll just get worse since they don't really know of it. And so that's why I think that people make fun of it because they don't really know what it actually is and they got learned it but in not the right way.
Very well said. Look, I don't know why the heck people decide to meow out of all things. I think it's hilarious because they think that is going to be scary to us. But sorry that you've been picked on by other students. Just keep up that positive outlook of yours. It's really nice to see someone with that good of an attitude. Keep your head up. Did your coming out affect any other part of your life? Your social circle, your mental health?
It didn't really affect anything. I just lived my life.
What would you have done differently to change how your coming out process worked?
I would have liked to been more educated as a young age, so then I wouldn't have been so confused on what it was. And I feel like knowing just a little bit of information on that subject, it would have helped a lot. But anyways, other than that, I'm pretty happy on how it came out.
Well, I think that with time, it's becoming less and less of a problem, but I'm glad that you are happy with the way you came out nonetheless. This has been Beyond the Binary, the show, where we explore the complex and diverse experiences of individuals who are part or ally of the LGBTQ+ community. This episode was produced by Vee Bernier, which is I, and written by Alex Harris. We can be reached at v.bernier.btb@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know in the comment section. And remember, there is always a fruitiness before your very eyes. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. This is Vee Bernier signing off. Until next time.
This video was recorded on the unceded, unsurrendered traditional land of the Mi'kmaq and the Wolastoqey, governed by the Treaties of Peace and Friendship. These lands, along with many others, are indigenous lands, and we acknowledge whose land we occupy.
There is something uniquely beautiful about a person who grows from their struggles and uses the lesson to spread wisdom. It doesn't matter what you've done or how far you fell. Be the example that shows others that they can overcome that mountain too.
N'oublie pas que tu es la personne la plus importante et qu'un meilleur toi crée un meilleur monde.
A special thank you to everyone who helped make this episode possible. And a big shout out to Stéphanie Leblanc and Joanie Duguay for their inspiring quotes. We couldn't have done it without you all.